Hey guys, Jackdaw here. Something I quite often think about regarding Dragon Age 4 is the next protagonist. Who they could be, what is their story, and how will they become our next hero. But most importantly, what will set Dragon Age 4's new protagonist apart from previous main heroes? The Inquisitor was an incredibly powerful figure throughout Southern Thedas, one whose fame severely grew throughout the events of Inquisition's narrative. To date, the Inquisitor is certainly the most infamous, powerful character in the entire franchise, period. They only grew bigger in power with an influence that could set the very scales of justice, and in many cases, the Inquisitor personally could decide the very fate of Thedas, like impacting the decision of the next ruler of Orlais and the election of the next Divine. The Inquisitor and their army proved to be a force not to be reckoned with, one that wouldn't give up without a fight, with many delegates fighting both diplomatic and military battles, always ready and able to change the tides of any war. Let's not forget that the Inquisitor has fought through sheer political turmoil, a demon uprising attempt, and the very rise of an ancient Tevinter adversary. They've gone to the Fade and back with their battles, only to succeed against any opposing force. So my question is, how in Andraste's knickers are we going to get a protagonist who can beat, rival, or even match the reputation, respect, and power of the Inquisitor? Well, simply put guys, I don't think we will. Judging by the ending of Trespasser, we're certainly going to be playing as a new protagonist, someone who we've never heard of before.
Then we find people he doesn't know. We will save our friend from himself. If we can.
No matter the case, that's just how the cookie crumbles when it comes to the main playable character in Dragon Age, and I can respect that. Based on Project Joplin's initial concept, we know that the main protagonist was going to be a spy, with a plot emphasized on pulling off heists around the Tevinter Imperium. Although that sounds like an epic narrative and something that we should speculate the heck out of, I am working on a separate video exploring the dynamics of playing as a potential spy protagonist. And as I said, it sounds epic, it's quite divide from experiencing the life of our glamorous Inquisitor with their Pinkquisition, to now seemingly playing as a thief in a small gang. Now hear me out, I am not against this change up, after all, variety is the spice of life. I'm just curious about how BioWare will handle this drastic change from us. This is of course subjective, however something that I personally fear for Dragon Age 4 is accommodating a new protagonist when in the past we've already been given such a significant and relevant hero with the Inquisitor. How are we, the players, going to adapt to a new protagonist having fulfilled the role of the Inquisitor? I'm apprehensive for the contrast of the two protagonists, but also the relevance of the same plot with a new hero. The narrative going forward for Dragon Age 4 is the Inquisitor's story. Solas is their problem, and only they should be the one responsible for dealing with him. So both Solas and the Inquisitor can reach an ending in their story that they've equally both started and shared together. For this tale to be handed over and reduced to a new hero, it's in the opposing direction. I worry for the lack of significance for this new protagonist, that they may already feel disattached to the story and have no relevance to it from the very start, simply because it's not their narrative. They have no piece in this massive chessboard. What could they possibly add that the Inquisitor couldn't, other than someone who Solas doesn't know? How will this new main character stand out? What can they do differently, and how will they even rival Solas? All complete unknowns. But I do have an idea that does satiate the approach to a new protagonist while keeping the significance of the Inquisitor. Now what if we have two playable protagonists for Dragon Age 4, something that I would like to call a dual protagonist. Perhaps we play as the Inquisitor for the first mission in Dragon Age 4, introducing the narrative and developing the time spent and changes since Inquisition's events, and after that prologue we're then introduced to our new protagonist who will be a spy embarking on heists throughout Tevinter. Let's say that 75% of Dragon Age 4 is going to be spent delving into our new protagonist adventuring through Tevinter, gearing up for epic heists, and further building on the established lore. And then 25% of the game can then be spent taking the role as our Inquisitor once more. They may not be fit to fight, but they can certainly fit an advisory role, dealing with many delegations and diplomatic disputes, building up on the narrative against Solas, and mentoring our new protagonist alongside them as their new protege. For the main journey, we would be spending the majority of our time through our new protagonist's shoes, and then at major key key plot moments, we would switch to playing as our Inquisitor. This way we can enjoy playing as our new hero entranced into this new world of the Tevinter Imperium and all of its mayhem, filled with many smaller adversaries, many narrative threads, plenty of lore, and overall attempting to follow the Inquisition's mission. And even on top of that, in smaller doses we could still enjoy delving into our Inquisitor's story as they continue to stop Solas and his scheme to destroy the Veil. We had Hawk return as an NPC in Dragon Age Inquisition who served to offer many insights to fight against Corypheus. While this was great and well done, I would like the Inquisitor to return in Dragon Age 4 as a player protagonist. Not as a party member, but as a separate hero with smaller segments of the game strictly dedicated to them. As opposed to them battling it out and delving into combat, they could take up a more political stance, where elements of the game could literally just be focused on heavy, deep conversations, dealing with many significant people that the Inquisitor has gained through fame, perhaps delegating of the Black Divine or the Qunari or anyone who will support the Inquisition's mission to stop Solas going forward. And then the main bulk of the game can be playing as our spy as they conquer through heists, explore Tevinter and develop down the main story. This two-character mechanic was actually utilised in Mass Effect Andromeda for one key mission towards the end of the game. During a time when one of the riders is in trouble, you actually switch and play as your other sibling, furthering the story, and I actually quite liked it. So much so that I'm hoping that this mechanic can extend to the next Dragon Age game. The main aim is that we can cultivate throughout the entire narrative as our new spy hero. They can follow new quests, characters, romances, locations, heists, etc. However, when the main narrative kicks in and things become gritty, when the plot takes dark turns, and Solas becomes our one focus, the Inquisitor can then take the main focus as the playable protagonist. And outside of that, the Inquisitor can then serve as an advisor or an informant on all things Solas related, pushing the narrative forward with rumours and threads that they've uncovered, and then sending out our new hero into Thedas on so many grand quests and missions at the Inquisitor's behest. The Inquisitor would be an intrinsic part of this narrative, and I feel like it would be a completely unique way to experience them in Dragon Age 4. In summary, the main tale of Dragon Age 4 belongs to the Inquisitor. It's their journey, and Solas is their friend, adversary, or even lover. For this narrative to be khaki-handed to a new protagonist without any establishment of the Inquisitor is how it will fail, in my opinion. To some capacity, the Inquisitor must return for Dragon Age 4. They've got to guide the narrative, especially because they're the one who knows Solas the most. Now, the Inquisitor doesn't have to return via the method of a dual protagonist. Personally, as an Inquisitor fanboy, I would very much like it that way, because we can see how BioWare are adapting this dual mechanic. With both Hawk in Dragon Age Inquisition and the Rider twins in Andromeda, they each built on the scope of this feature within the Frostbite engines. They worked out how to pull off this feature in smaller cases, and with much innovation, I could totally see this concept becoming a reality for Dragon Age 4. They've literally just created this feature in Andromeda. All they'd need to do is expand and flesh it out a lot more for Dragon Age 4, following from what they did with Hawk. Now, in other Inquisitive regards, I have talked about how the Inquisitor should return in Dragon Age 4 plenty of times on my channel, but adding to the list, I would just love to play as them once more as a dual protagonist in Dragon Age 4. No matter the case, the Inquisitor deserves to see the end of Solas' narrative. They even swore in Trespasser that they would either redeem or kill Solas, so it would be outright ludicrous if the Inquisitor were to never return. But ultimately, that's how I would like to see the Inquisitor return in Dragon Age 4 as a playable protagonist. Tell me down below though what you feel about the return of the Inquisitor in Dragon Age 4, and how do you feel about our new hero? From this video onwards, I'm going to talk a lot more about the new protagonist, speculating many ideas of what they could be, and just really delve into how they can rival Solas, what could meet or match them against him. In any regard, how do you feel about a Dragon Age 4 dual protagonist? My patrons also have a few things to say on this too. But ultimately, of course, this is subjective as heck. I want to know your thoughts down below. But for all your things Dragon Age, Mass Effect, BioWare, all that jazz, you're already in the right place. Be sure to check out my blog, Patreon, follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, all the links in the description down below. But until the next one, I've been Jackdaw, and I should go.